Hello everyone, my name is Atikur Rahman. I live in Finland and today we have our special guest Shahriar Saurov, and today we will talk about how he get into his first job in Finland from material physics to software engineer. So it's a long journey, we know, and we'd like to listen from Mr. Shahriar Saurov. Hello Shahriar Saurov bhai, how are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for inviting me. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. So Saurabh bhai, today actually we want to listen from you, your story and how you made it happen in Finland, like starting from very like little bit of different background to tech industry in Finland. How's your journey? So before going into the details, I would like to request you to introduce yourself first.
Okay, so as you already told everyone, my name is Shahriar Saurov. I've been in Finland for almost 8 years now, and I live in Helsinki. And right now, I work as a full stack developer in Manchuria Group.
Okay, nice, excellent. So, Saurabh bhai, so how did you came to Finland? So before jump into the main questions, we also like to know how did you came in Finland and actually what motivate you to came in Finland?
Okay, so a funny story because Finland was not even in my target when I started looking for my master's
Mm.
back in Bangladesh. I was pretty much interested to do my master's in Germany. But when I actually started applying, one of my seniors from Shahriar University, where I did my bachelor, told me that okay, Finland is also offering quality master's degree for free to international student. Why don't you try it? So I tried it and I got chance in Helsinki University, and then I decided okay, just come to Helsinki because it was a better university than I got chance in German universities. So that's why I just came to Finland and in
Okay, yeah,
Helsinki.
nice. So you already completed your masters in Helsinki University.
Yeah, I did back in
Okay,
2017-18.
yeah. What is your subject in University of Helsinki?
I studied material physics, but my line of specialization was soft materials.
Okay, nice. Well, yeah, Mr. Shahriar Saurabh, now we'd like to know a little more about uh, how was your journey to become a developer in Finland from a solid material physics background to tech industry. So how made it happen? So I know it's a very long journey, but yeah, we'd like to listen from you how you did it.
So, like when I was finishing my master's thesis, started to work as a research assistant in the extra lab or the material physics department in Helsinki University. But as you know, in 2017-18, the funding for research universities was cutting down by the government. So after 6 or 7 months of work, I lost my funding, so I couldn't continue to work as a research assistant. And back then, I had some experience with Python and MATLAB, and I was really enjoying my programming with different data set. And then I realized, okay, if I'm can continue as a research assistant, I should try something else. And if it's related to programming, then it will be even more easier for me. So I started looking for some jobs, but I couldn't get into them because they required some solid level of experience. Then I started focusing on improving myself. So I was just looking what jobs are available to juniors back then. So it was web development. So I started learning JavaScript and React. And then I started attending different seminar conference on programming. And at the same time, there was meetups also happening. I tried to join them, and then COVID happened, so every meetup was closed, but they moved to online. So I started joining these online seminars, meetups, and also there are some CV bootcamp, CV clinic. Started joining them to improve my CVs. And there was one organization called Lookan Integration. Was quite regular there. I submitted my CV there, and they gave a solid feedback on my CV, so I updated it. And then I started applying through LinkedIn and Glassdoor. But I was having a lot of rejection in there. I remember one Friday, I got 6 rejection in the span of half an hour. And the funniest thing is, in LinkedIn, you can check that, okay, did they download your CV or did they view your application or not? For those 6 that I got rejection on the same day, they didn't even download my CV. So it was really, really hard to continue.
So you had the premium subscription in
Yeah,
LinkedIn.
I had a premium because someone
Okay.
in the meetup said, okay, premium will give you some extra features like what's your like are you a top applicant
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
or what's are the qualities of the other applicant to get a better view.
yeah, yeah.
But it was really
Understood.
difficult because I got rejected even without downloading the CV, and still I kept pushing it. I started learning bit more. I started building projects. I started to be more active on GitHub, pushing codes every day. And then slowly, things started to getting better. I started getting to the interview calls. And once I get to the first interview, things were really easier compared to application process.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah,
do you remember uh, after how many application you got your first interview call?
around 50 to 60.
Okay, yeah, that's still a huge, I would say.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the hardest part is when you get a rejection, but they don't even open your CV. So like, I don't even know why I was rejected.
Mm,
Like, so
yeah, true.
it's really bad from a candidate applicant's point of view, because if they say, okay, this is the reason, this is why you are not moving forward, then it gives you a chance to improve on something. But if someone just rejects you without any reason, then it's quite difficult to like know why or what should I improve.
Yeah, yeah, true, true. Yeah, but it's very bad reality. Like many recruiters basically do the rejection in that way without even viewing the CV or portfolio or anything
Yeah.
else. Just simply made the rejection. I know. I have actually a lot of terrible experience getting first job in Finland. So we are not going to talk about my story today, but your story, Saurabh, Mr. Saurabh. Yeah. So then, how did you get into first job? Like how, which company it is, and what was the day that you got the first job?
Okay, I got the first job beginning of this year, and it was roughly 3 weeks of process. And as I told you, once you get the interview, it's get quite easier because they already know what I know and what I don't know, and they just ask some basic React or JavaScript based question. And I was really comfortable with JavaScript and React, so I answered them, and I was given a task, and I did the task, and then there was a cultural fit interview, and it was basically like how do you handle different things. And as I already worked in different fields, I also have an experience of leading a team of 10 to 12 people. So those experience came handy, and I said, okay, I know how to work as a team lead as well as also work as a team member. So I know the point of view of both position. So it helped me in that sense of getting a job.
Mr. Saurabh, uh, so we would also like to know how was it difficult to get your first job in tech industry in Finland?
So as you might already know, in Finland, most of the jobs are not published anywhere. Most of them are internal hiring. And as a foreigner like you and me, we don't have enough connection to know what is actually happening, like are there any job position or not. And this is why I started going to those meetups, as I told you before, because those meetups I started making connection, and
Mm.
those help a lot. Even like couple of months back, I got one message from someone I met in an online event, and she was saying that their company is looking for a developer. And I was just checking their whole website and LinkedIn and Instagram and every other social media I could find, but there was no mention of an open position. And but still, she just sent me a message because she knew they are hiring, but there was no mention of it anywhere. So that connection, in my mind, is the most difficult thing as a foreigner, because we don't have the connections, we don't get the whole view. Are they hiring people or not, or how should I apply and how should I get noticed?
Yeah, yeah, true. Well, as I noticed also, you also studied in Integrify. I was also student of Integrify at some point. How Integrify helped you to find your first job? Was it some sort of quite helpful for you as a learning curve, or finding the first job also?
To
How
be
was it?
honest, when we graduated from Integrify, it was the peak of COVID, so there was hiring
Mm,
freeze, so there was nothing. They tried, but there was pretty much nothing.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's for me also. They actually tried a lot to find the job for me, but it didn't happen anyway. But it helps me a lot for me at least
And
learning point of view. So
and
yeah.
for me, just timing was really bad because it was just the peak
Yeah,
of
yeah,
COVID. So
I know it was. I also remember we had 2 months of class in face to face. Then we had to uh, come back to the home and started practicing the remote work or remote class. So
and
it was
we did
quite horrible.
completely remotely. So
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so Mr. Saurov, how is your learning curve? Like, how do you learn every day to improve yourself? So,
okay, so the because nowadays there is YouTube to learn things. But the problem with the YouTube is there is so many materials you are not so sure which one is good, which one is not so good. So I try to follow Free Code Camp and the videos because it's a really good website. I also try to do
mm,
the courses, and there is a full stack course from University of Helsinki. I tried to do the whole course. I still couldn't complete it because it's a really long course, but
yeah, yeah.
at least the knowledge I have from of React is completely from that website. Like
Okay,
it's
yeah,
really in
nice.
depth. And
Yeah, nice
there
to
is
hear that.
FI Tech IO. It offers free courses from different universities of Finland. I also tried to take a couple of courses. And
Yeah.
learning was a bit, JavaScript was a bit easier for me because I already knew Python.
Mm,
So like the logic was same, just the syntax was a bit here and there different. And once you get used to it, then it's quite easy. And nowadays I also learning some DevOps things because I have to improve myself, and that's how the life of a programmer is. You have to keep learning. You cannot say, okay, I'm done, because
yeah,
there is new
yeah.
things coming up every other day, and you have to improve
Mm.
yourself.
Well, how did you describe the free code camp as a course for beginners? Do you think that is very helpful?
It's a really good course, especially HTML,
Yeah.
CSS, and JavaScript part, because it starts from very, very basic. And once you done those, and you have to write code, because coding is a thing that you just cannot just, okay, I'm just looking at the videos, okay. It never
Yeah, you have to
happens. You
write
have
it
to
and
actually
practice.
type
Yeah,
something. You have to
true.
make
Yeah,
mistakes, some silly mistakes, then from there you will learn.
yeah,
And
true,
then I
true.
would recommend everyone to try out the full stack course of University of Helsinki. And it's a bit advanced. If you know JavaScript, then it will be much easier.
Yeah, yeah,
and it goes in depth, and in there you have to do everything on your own. So it's really, really helpful.
yeah. Okay, Mr. Saurabh. So you have been working almost 1 year or more than one
Yeah.
year in Finland. So how do you think about the working culture in Finland? How do you feel it compared to, for example, Bangladesh?
I haven't worked a long time in Bangladesh. I was working for 6 months before I came to Finland, so I cannot say I'm a good person to compare between Bangladesh and Finland.
Okay, but
But
yeah, we just want to listen. How is your experience in Finland? Basically,
it's
the working
really,
culture and everything.
really, really good because in there, like we use Jira task, and I'm responsible for my own task, and they don't like what happened, how are you doing, nothing. Like it's your task, you handle your task. Unless you are struggling, then you ask for help. There is not like okay, micromanaging thing is really bad micromanaging. So there is no micromanaging. I'm responsible for my own task. I finished it. I submit my code for review, and
Mm.
they don't really care. Like of course you have a personal life. Like someday I'm not office at exactly at 9, someday I'm at 10, or someday maybe I'm leaving early. I don't have to explain it to anyone that okay, I'm leaving early or I'm late for this reason. I just have to do my own task, and that's all they care. And of course, when we make mistakes, it's not like okay, they become aggressive or anything. One funny thing, like I learned how to do SSH to different virtual machines, and I haven't done this before. So on the first try, I kicked out my CTO's SSH key out of the system, and he couldn't get in. Then he figured out that okay, I was the one who kicked him out from the system. I thought okay, then he will show
Yeah,
something, but he just said okay, you made a mistake. Next time, if you want to do this or this way, so you don't make mistakes. So it was
yeah, yeah,
easier for me to learn because, of course, when I start, no one can say I'm perfect. I don't make any mistakes. Everyone make mistakes, but they understand the mistake is part of learning. And he
yeah,
was also
yeah,
saying that he
absolutely.
also made mistakes to learn. And
Yeah,
that's a really,
yeah.
if you get
So
stuck, they don't give you a solution directly, like, okay, do this. They say, okay, let's try to do this. What do you think? Or try to Google. So that you come up with the solution yourself. They just show you the direction. So you learn and
true.
you know how to find the solution next time.
The next question, actually, we just want to know, like I think you already knows about the user experience and those kind of things. So my next question is, how did you see as a career in user experience in tech industry in Finland? Or maybe you can some point out some comparison or point out some story based on your current company also. So how do you see user experience in tech industry in Finland?
Its user experience is really important. Like even for me, when I was building my personal projects, uh, I could code really good, but I cannot design things or nicely. So I was taking a lot of help from Fazil Kabir. He did a lot of designing of my personal website,
Yeah,
and it made a really good impact because the easier it is to maintain as a user, like to go to different routes and click, the easier it is to have a good impression. Like my personal website is uh, now just because of Fazil Kabir, he did a lot of things for me,
yeah, nice,
and
nice to
it
hear
makes a good
that.
impact.
Yeah,
When I send it
yeah,
to a recruiter, it makes a good impact. Like I also get a positive feedback from a recruiter saying, "Okay, I can see what you did easily." So just it makes me stand out when I was applying. And
mm,
even now at the job, we have a couple of softwares, and one of the issue we had is the user experience. Like all of us can code, but we don't know. Like there was a lots of difference between couple of projects, and the user is complaining, okay, shouldn't it just make something that's uniform, that's easier to handle? So that's why we started looking for user experience designer in our
in your
company, and
company.
Yeah, and it made a really
Okay.
good impact. Now
Yeah.
pretty much because we use the software every day, so it doesn't make a huge impact for us. But the person who use it once or twice in a month for some urgent things, then it's make a huge impact because they now know how to handle things and where which buttons are to click, which not, and it makes a real like when the website looks nice, it makes you eager to interact and use it. And if something doesn't look nice, you really don't want to click on it.
Yeah. So now your team and your company can feel the importance of user experience designer already in the team,
Yeah,
right?
it
Yeah.
makes a really good like impact on us, so
Yeah.
that we just right now know like okay, our
So,
user
so in
point of
this
view.
episode, actually, we are not going very details into user experience because Mr. Saurov is some sort of very talented full stack developer,
How would I
and
say
he's
talented, but yeah.
specialized in that part. And maybe at least in this episode, may we may not talk about user experience a lot, but thank you, Saurabh bhai, for sharing your knowledge and understanding the importance of user experience in the team. And yeah, so probably we're more or less done for today,
Yeah.
but still I have a little more uh, concern to know how do you suggest the juniors or who are currently struggling to find their first job in Finland? How do you advise them to for getting their first job in Finland?
Yeah, the very first thing I would say is attend the meetups and make the connection because connections are really important for foreigners like us.
Mm,
Because most of the time, as I told before, that the jobs are not posted, so it's quite difficult to know are there any openings in this company or not. But those connection can help, and some of them will give you feedback on your
yeah.
CVs or cover letter or any question you have. And in those meetups, because mostly people who come in there are the junior ones or those who get the recent jobs, so they have a clear view of the situation. And there was one guy who also helped me, who gave me the address and the link of Locon. I didn't even know it existed. And there was one recruiter who helped gave me the link of the Locon. And
Lukon,
there is
what is
also
this?
in different cities in Helsinki, there is the Kaupunki. They are trying to get foreigners into the jobs. So and have a solid LinkedIn because
Yeah,
LinkedIn is the
yeah, that's
first
true.
thing we check as
Yeah.
a
So I can actually add something here.
sure.
Actually, to find the first job, it the CV, LinkedIn, and if you have the portfolio or some sort of GitHub profile is very important. And basically those combination of all two three things like CV, LinkedIn, GitHub or portfolio website. So
Yeah.
those all the things should be consistent anyway, and the way you have to present should stand out from the crowd. So I would say in this case, personal branding basically uh, impact a lot. If you still want to add something here,
No, but that's the thing. Like you have to be. Your website is important, as I told you. First, we will copy kind of look at the website and
yeah,
fix the issues, and it made me stand out. Like I got really good feedback from there. So
yeah, true. Okay, so Mr. Saurav, thank you so much for joining in the call today, and I hope you all enjoyed listening this podcast today, and hopefully you will get some valuable information that can help you in your building your career, not only in Finland but also other part of the world, and so once again, thank you so much, Mr. Saurabh, for joining in
thanks
the
for
call
inviting
today.
me.